Hey guys, I'm Galvao, head coach of Team Atos here in San Diego, California. I've just put together a new instructional course dealing with the mount position. This series specifically covers offensive strategies from the mount position so that you can develop a better understanding of fundamentals jiu-jitsu. Enjoy it and have fun. Os. All right, now we're gonna understand how to control the mount. And after understanding how to control the mount, we go through all the attacks, okay? It's really, really important to know and recognize what the opponent will do in order to escape. So while he starts moving, and as soon as he's taking an action to escape, you're preventing those escapes. You're like avoiding to make frames or find ways to build this space to recover the guard or to bridge and make you end up on bottom, sorry. Okay, so it's really, really important to understand that, okay? So let's start first. On top right here, controlling the mount and understanding how to maintain the mount. Okay, there are different mount positions here. The first one is controlling the knees, like having the knees under the armpit. Controlling here, having my hands on the floor. Okay, so that's one mount. So you cannot have your feet away from him like this. Okay, you need to have both feet like together here, close to him. Right, and your thumbs like right under, scooping like under his hips right here. Okay, and also I like to put pressure like this, okay, as well. Like I can use my heels to control the mount here. I particularly prefer to keep like this if I'm having my hands on the floor. Okay, so of course, like if you keep your hands on the floor like this, it's easier for opponents to escape. Okay. You can use your hands on the floor after you feel your opponent is tired or he stopped moving, and then you can like maybe like put your hands like this in order to start a different attack. Okay, we're gonna start with the very simple attacks such as Americana, arm bars, and then you go all the way through fundamentals. Okay, so when I'm here, I like to hug his head on one side. Okay, I can either hug the head, underhook the arm. So that's a great way for you to keep mounted. You can have the knees under his armpit right here, okay? And now he's forcing him to face to one side, all right? He have this arm free right now, okay? I know he's gonna use his hand like to try to escape, okay? He can use his hand on my foot to lift my foot and try to trap my leg, okay? Or he's gonna try to use the elbow inside, okay? One thing you need to understand, you cannot let your opponent keep the elbows inside. Every time you keep the frame inside like this, it's easy for him to find a space and start escaping, okay? So I must be on top right here, okay, controlling him, right? And then do not let him put the elbow inside, the frames inside, okay? If that happens, let's say Jonathan's put the elbow inside like this. I need to scoop my hand under his triceps, pull him up, and then bring my knees under his triceps again. Okay, he goes the other side. I pull him up like this and then go like this, okay? Another way he can start like pushing you and try to find a space to escape is pushing with the hand. Use the hand on my leg, like this, okay? So this happens a lot as well. So don't accept that. Even if you hug his head and everything, he can still push you here. So that's not good for you. So I like to pull his hand right here. I scoop my hand under his wrist, pull up, and then I bring forward like this. So I underhook his arm right here. Notice that Jonathan is also building this frame right here. So that's not good for me. So what I do, instead of like underhooking, because sometimes it's gonna be hard for me to underhook, I can C-grip here like this and push him to the side. And now I put his triceps under my armpit like this, okay? Right here. So now try to go back with the frame, Jonathan. I can link my hands together and I can stay like this, okay? Again. Step one, his elbows inside, I pull, he goes the other side, do the same thing on the other side, okay? Oh, Professor, if you have both sides, you choose one side first to escape and then the other side, okay? Hugging the head is always the best option, like I said before, right? So hugging the head here, it's a great option for you, especially underhooking his arm. When you underhook the arm, I mean, you gotta underhook the elbow, okay? And always when you do that, he can also get the frame here, okay? And when you got that frame, it's gonna be easy for him to start like pushing you and escape, Okay, exactly like this. And sometimes you'll find someone against someone stronger than you. So you gotta understand that you gotta prevent all the frames. Right now we're just learning how to avoid all the frames in order to not let my opponent escape and have complete control from mount. Because if you don't control the position, if you don't control the situation, it's really hard for you to attack. Okay? So underhook right here, you got the frame right here. So I got the C grip like this, look. I grab like this, my thumb up, 4 fingers under. So if I go like this, it's kind of like awkward for me. Okay, I keep like this. So I just push him to the side and bring his triceps under my armpit. So now I'm here, so I control him. So now I'm on top of him. Okay, so I'm just talking about the mount that I have my knees near his armpit, okay? But there are different ways for you to use your legs as well, okay? So for example, I can grab his head right here, underhook his arm, Jonathan start doing the frame right there, okay? And then I go for the C grip here. And I push him now, I got like this. So I can also start like trapping his leg like that, okay? Which is a great way for you to mount. Or you can trap your foot like this. So first, I trap here. Second, I can trap like this. Some people like to do the prayer foot like this. It's great, okay, but I don't like it. I prefer this, okay? You can do that as well, right? But I prefer this one here, okay? Notice that Jonathan is really uncomfortable right now. I don't let him, I keep my weight on his triceps here and keep the underhook on his elbow here. All right, and then from here, you learn that there'll be like different attacks for you to do against your opponent, okay? My goal after a mount, all right, my mentality here is to submit my opponent, okay? First, control the position, of course, but go for the submission. And also, I can make transitions to the back, all right? Because always when you're attacking the mount, your opponent turns sideways, and you have opportunities to attack the back. It's very important to understand what you're gonna do next after you are in a situation. For example, I'm on the side control. After I get a side control, I don't wanna go back inside his legs, because if I'm back inside his legs, he will recover the guard. And we're gonna talk about that on the side control fundamental system, okay? So you guys will understand that once you pass, you gotta stay here as long as you can. And then from here, you go to the back, or you go to mount if you need to make a transition. Or of course, you gotta go for a submission, okay? So let's say once I mount here, I don't wanna go backwards. I don't wanna walk backwards, okay? In a fight, it's gonna be like this when you're on top. You're on top of your opponent. My goal is to submit him or to pass his guard, okay? First, of course, I can take his back as well, just if you turn. But at the beginning, you gotta have the mentality to pass the guard. And right when you're passing the guard, let's say you pass the guard, okay, establish, all right. Now you don't want to go back anymore. Once you go back, you step backwards, okay? So you don't want to pass and then go back inside his legs again to start all over again. Because every time you're here, you give opportunity for him to sweep you, to submit you, or to control the fight. All right, so I want to be on the side. Once I get on the side, I'm here, I'm controlling my opponent. And once I control my opponent, okay, great. Now I make a nice transition to mount. Once I mount, I don't want to go back to side control, even though I can go back to side control. Of course, it's way better than be between his legs. I'll be talking about that as well. But it's going to be way better for you if you can stay here as long as you can. And from here, you can go to the back. My ultimate goal during the fight, and if you guys watch my fights, I always like to attack the back of my opponent. Okay, and I love to mount as well. Okay, and the mount position he's gonna turn, I need to be ready to attack his back. Once I'm on his back, I'm gonna be here as long as I can. And all my transitions after I take the back is to always like go for a nice choke or a nice armbar, a nice shoulder lock. Okay, I can attack full locks, yes I can, but my goal is to always attack my opponent from the back, okay? Because it's gonna be way better for you if you can take the back. It's really hard for an opponent to escape. All his attacks, which is the arms and the legs, will be like facing one side, and you're gonna be behind him, and you can choke him out from the back pretty easy. And the choke, attacking the neck, is something that you need to do during the fight. Okay, I always like to choke people. I like to do arm bars as well. But when you choke, nobody's strong on the neck. Okay, once you start squeezing the neck, it's really hard for the person to resist. Some people, they're more flexible, they can resist on arm bars, knee bars, wrist locks, shoulder locks. Some people, they're really flexible, but no one is flexible on the neck, right? So once you start squeezing the neck, they will tap or nap, okay? So it's really important to have this mentality. So once I mount here, you guys understand that he's gonna start building the frame. I go step 1, okay, he start pushing my leg. I can go step 2, okay, I hug his head, he build the frame, I underhook, he build the frame, I'm gonna start pushing his arm to the side, and then I'm here with my armpit over his triceps. This is a great control. Now I'm talking about like trapping the leg here or trapping the leg like that. You see, like that, I'm doing this, okay? I'm like, you know, when you are surfing, you gotta be like that on top of your opponent, like you lift your hips, your chest up, sorry, like that, and you push your hips forward, okay? And you can lift your feet a little bit like this as well, all right? So you gotta prevent the opponent to try to trap your leg like this. Once you start trapping here, that can be a problem for me, and you start like recovering the guard. Even though I can still like finish him here, I can still make transitions here, I can still attack in submissions from here, because this is kind of like a mount. It's also a mount, right? The only difference is that my foot is trapped. But this is a great opportunity for him to put my knee between his legs. And once my knee, I mean my thigh, is between his legs, it's really hard for me right now to keep on mount, you see? So no, I'm no longer on mount position. Now you have the opportunity to attack me, you have the opportunity to sweep me. And I don't want to give that opportunity to my opponent, okay? Fighting is all about getting the opportunities and take advantage of the opportunities. It's just like life, right? So you got an opportunity and you see that, you stay there and you get the opportunity to finish, okay? So it's really, really important, okay, to know that and keep that mindset as well, not only on the mat, but off the mat as well. So now other thing that my opponent can do, especially when he doesn't know, he can push me like this, okay? And if he's pushing me here, okay, I cannot be like that. So this is very fundamental, it's very basic, okay? So you're gonna swing your arms inside. Okay, every time you feel he's pushing you to the side, you swing your hands inside. So you go inside, look, 1 and 2. And now you can hug him, okay? So once you hug him, you can hug the head, or hug the head and go to the underhook, or have double underhook, okay? So this is a great way to mount as well. So I'm always trying to prevent him to keep his elbow close to his body. See that? More he keep the elbows close to the body, easier for him to escape. More time he spend here with the elbows like this, easier for him to escape and build the frames, okay? So I'll try to avoid that. I go like under his elbows like this, and I open his elbows and take his elbows away from his body, okay? Once I do that, I have a completely control off mount. Another way that I can mount is like when he bridges to the side, he turn, and then I mount like this, like we call the Z mount like this, right? It's like a Z here. So if I stay like this, I cannot have my foot too far from him because it's easier for him to trap my leg. Okay, I need to keep my heel like really close to his body right here. And I don't like to keep my chest far from his shoulder, okay? I gotta keep my chest closed, and actually my chin will be over his shoulder right here. And I got the seat belt, so the hand that's on bottom goes under his head right here, under the neck, okay? And the hand that's on top right here, in this case, my right hand, I'll grab like this. I can grab here, or I can grab like this, okay? You can go here or here, okay? Wherever you feel more comfortable, okay? Some people say this is the right way for you to grab. You should grab just like that. I think you can grab both ways, okay? As long as you have a good control. You can either put your chin on chest here and control the wrist. You can control the wrist or not, okay? If you control the wrist, that's always good for you. Why I control the wrist? Because after I do this, you see that my opponent is exposing his back to me. It's a great way for me to make a transition to his back. If I don't grab the wrist, it's easier for Jonas to turn to me like really quick and put his shoulders back to the mat. Put your shoulders back like this. Okay, and sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the time, no-gi is very slippery, right? So when I control the wrist, when he tried to turn, it's really hard for him to turn. Even if I'm not with the chest on him, it's really hard for him to turn, Jonas. I just stretch my arm and force him to turn back. Okay, so I can control the wrist like this. Keep your chest heavy here and keep your chin right here. All right, so that way you can control the fight pretty easy. And this knee will be like a pillow for him, like right under his head. So don't keep your knee here close to the lower back, so you're gonna feel like uncomfortable. So you're always here. So when you're fighting, okay, Jonathan will breach to the side, and then I do this. Then he go back, he breach to the other side, then I go this. Yeah, I do this right away, right? Go back again, bridge. Okay, other side. Okay, you gotta be able to do that during the fight. And notice that you see that I relax, I lift my knee, one knee up, especially the side he's turning. So if he's turning to my right, okay, right side, I'll lift my right leg. Never the left leg. You feel like uncomfortable here, okay? Even though you can do that. But if that happens, it's okay. You just change right away, okay? And keep your foot really close, your heel really close to his body, right? So you don't give him opportunity to recover the guard. You put your chin right here down and control it, okay? So you can practice this over and over. He just bridge to one side, okay, go back, he bridge to the other side, control, go back. He gotta put the elbow inside, okay? Pull, go up, go other side, pull, go up. So you're gonna push with the hand, pull, come up, hug his head, underhook his arm. He's gonna frame my belly like this, okay? I use the C-grip thumb up, thumb on top, pushing to the side, and control like this. Okay, I have my armpit on top of his arm, controlling, right? So now it's a great way for me to keep my attacks right here. Okay. Also, when I'm mounting like this, okay, he can start pushing my legs just like that. So I gotta pull always, and don't let him touch your legs. Okay. He can push my hips just. I push his arm to the outside. Keep pushing with the other hand. So I cover this one here, and then I push the other one, and then I underhook one arm, always. Always grab the head and underhook one arm. So you're gonna have a better mount. Okay? Also, if you push me up, I'm gonna swing my hands inside. All right. Now, another thing that can happen, and this is very rare when you are more advanced, but you gotta learn that because as a self-defense, you gotta understand that. And also when you're a white belt, you start training people who do that, like they don't know much jiu-jitsu, right? And this is completely wrong for Jonathan. It's really wrong. So he cannot do that during the fight, but that can happen when you fight someone who doesn't know jiu-jitsu yet. So he's gonna try to sit up like this. He tried to sit up to try to come up. And if the person is stronger than you, you don't know how to control, right? He end up like coming up, right? Because he's stronger than you, right? So you gotta right away come with your hand like really close to the wrist, and then you pull, and then you put him back on the floor, okay, hugging his head. Try to sit up right now. So you try to sit up, you go with the underhook. Now you avoid the person to sit up, okay? You can do like right away when you start putting the elbows on the floor, you can do right away. Or if you go all the way, like fast, you go in one side, okay? You need to go both sides. Choose one side, the other side to grab the head, okay? So this is like what you need to learn and know when you are mounted, okay? Of course, there's the other mount, which is the S mount, like this, okay, which is great. If you do that in your opponent, it's a complete domination, and it's easy for you to make transitions to armbar, okay? To the armor lock. So I'm here, I got the underhooks, I got the double unders, advance one knee close to his head, and then sweep my leg here, look, and face my foot up. Now I pinch my knees together, so I have his arm here. So I'm on top of his chest, maybe he can come with the legs over my head. I make sure like I prevent that, I keep my head low, okay? And then I can go to the armbar. We'll learn that later on as well, but this is a little bit more advanced. It's an advanced way for you to keep a mount. Another thing that my opponent will do to try to escape, he's trying to push me over his head and try to bring the legs around my body. So he's gonna push me here, and he'll try to trap me like this. Okay, and if I keep his feet inside and he lock the feet like this, he can actually escape, right? One, he can push me backwards, right? Or two, he can keep like going under my leg and escape, right? I don't want that to happen during the fight. So when your opponent goes like that, right? So he goes right here. And if he doesn't close the feet, okay, so you can just like swing your arms inside, just like we learned before, right? You can go 1 and 2, just like the same concept we use for the armor here, we will use when he bring the legs over. Right, I go 1 and then 2, okay? So if you lock the feet together, if you lock his feet together, go like this, it's gonna be a little bit harder for you to swing your arms inside. Okay, what I do is I look which foot is under, okay? So in this case, this foot is under, the other foot is on top, right? So I push this foot here, like this. Okay, and then really fast, I'm gonna take my hand off the mat and I'll pass my hand under his foot, like this. Okay, now I let go and then I control it, okay? Again, so his ear is gonna bring me up and then he's gonna cross his foot like this, okay? If this foot is under, I go 1, 2, and then I escape, okay? If he already passed the leg over your chest, maybe it's gonna be too late for you. The best way to prevent that, especially if I'm fighting someone flexible and I know the person from the bottom can do that, so I sprawl right here. Now try to come with your legs around you. It's really hard for you to come with the leg around, okay? Because I mount low, right on top of his hips. This happens when I mount on top of his chest, like this. If I'm on top of his chest and then he's flexible, he can start coming with the legs over, right? And that can be a problem for me. Now in this case, this foot is under, right? I go 1 and then 2, hand inside, then I mount. Okay, I keep mounted. And of course, I go down and then I prevent him to bring the leg over, okay? So those are the ways you can control the mount. And other things that your opponent can do on you is hugging your head like this, okay? If he hugs your head, it's okay, right? Don't worry. We're gonna learn how to escape from that, okay, throughout the techniques. Also, you try to hug your waist like this. Don't worry about that as well. So it's super easy for you to frame on his neck and then start pushing here, forcing like to let go, and then you start underhooking his arm, right? Or like in a street fight, right? If he's hugging you, you can like use the hand on the forehead here, and then you can put his head down, okay? Like this, or you can slam him as well, like grab me, like tight. So I just like slam him like this with my chest on top of him. But just doing this frame, you cannot do this in tournaments, right? I'm just explaining as a self-defense. But when you hear, okay, and start doing that, I can easily like go and frame, just like we learned how to defend the bear hug, and then start like framing on his neck, putting his head on the floor, and then I start squeezing his neck here. He's gonna let go. Okay, he's gonna feel choked and he needs to let go. All right, so those are the ways you can control the mount, okay? And of course, your opponent will try to escape, right? And you can do specific training here. If you already know Jiu-Jitsu, it'll be easier for you to understand that and do this specific training. And I like to do this specific training here, sparring from mount. Every time you escape, we reset. I try to stay on mount position as long as I can until I submit him, okay? My goal is to stay on mount like for 2 minutes. And Jonathan's goal is try to escape as fast as he can, okay, in less than 2 minutes, all right? So I start here, I start with my hands on the floor and then fight. Jonathan's will try to fight, so I keep, I can hold him, I sprawl, I control, I have my grip, so I bring his arm out, try to escape Jonathan. I just stay here, okay, control him. He starts turning belly down, you see that my feet are together. He's already turning his back to me, look. If he turns his back to me, I'll go for the choke. And that's my goal, okay? If I convince my opponent turning the back to me, that would be great, okay? Because then from there, I'll easily choke him out, okay? But if let's say I'm here with Jonathan's grab my arm and do the hoopa, like you turn to the side and then I end up, I lose the mount, okay? And then you reset, all right? So you practice this, practice a couple rounds like that. You can do 3 rounds, 4 rounds of 2 minutes, okay? So it's specific from mount. And the person on bottom just try to escape and try to survive, okay? We did like on the defense side, when you learn the defense on our instructional, we learn like how to survive, right? But in this case right here, since the training is for the guy on top, the person on bottom not only try to survive, but also do the best to escape. He's gonna do his best to escape. And if he can escape, it'll be great, okay? And that will help me to maintain the mount as long as I can, okay? Once I have a good control, I'll have a better rate of submissions, right? Once I have a good control, I can submit. Of course, there are like some submissions that you can do while he's trying to escape, okay? But most of the time, you gotta have a good control first, okay? 90% of the time, you gotta have a good control first, and then you go for the submission, okay? All right. Another thing that I need to say here, once you mount on your opponent, let's say if you're using punches and strikes as a self-defense, okay? You must control before you start striking, okay? For example, if I mount on my opponent here and Jonathan is bridging, he's moving, no stop, move, Jonathan. How am I gonna punch him? I can't, right? First, I need to find a way to control my opponent. So I underhook his arms, I control him, right? I grab his wrist right here, right? I control, try to move, Jonathan. He's trying to move, control. Once he starts moving, he's tired, now I go, boom, boom, now I can start striking. This is like a great way for you to strike if you like to do MMA or as a self-defense, okay, situation, all right? Don't try to have the guy here and try to like just punch like this, okay? So make sure you control first, like frame. You can put your knee over here in the self-defense, right? You can use that also to do transitions, right? But it's easier for the person who knows jiu-jitsu to escape from this. I like to staple here just if I lift this leg up, and you will be learning that as well, okay? So just make sure you control first before you strike, okay? Simple like that, all right? Let's move to the next right now. Let's start learning all the submissions and all the attacks from mount. The mount on Jonathan's right here. Usually the opponent will cross his arm like this, or he's gonna be like that, okay? So let's say he crossed the arm like this. This is very common to happen, like crossing the arm. So once you cross the arm, I'll attack the top arm, okay? Don't attack the bottom arm, so attack the top one. If you have the hands like this, I can attack any arm here, okay? Either way. So here in this case, he's crossing with his left arm on top of his right arm. So I'm gonna control like this. I will have one hand on his wrist, the other hand on his forearm like this. Forearms, right? I control his forearm and push towards the floor, the back of his hand like this. Okay, but I'm not doing like this. One and then two. Okay, don't try to put your chest down and then push, okay? So stiffen your arm and then use all your body with your arm stiffened like this, okay? And once you do that, it's really hard for him to turn to the other side. Maybe Jones will try to frame it to the other side like this, okay? But you're gonna have time to set up the submission, okay? And the first submission is simple. I go with my elbow on the floor, okay? Underhook his arm, control the wrist, okay? Thumbs over his wrist. Now I start sliding his elbow down, okay? And lift his elbow up. But I need to keep the entire back of his hand on the floor. So I use my hand like this to twist his hand, control. Now I start getting the submission, okay? So I'm here, step one, step two. Step three, elbow near his head, okay? Never like far from his head. Triceps touching his neck. Now underhook, twist, okay? Bring it out, lift, and forcing to tap, okay? The other side, you cross right here. I go step one. Never cross your hands, okay? Just like that. One, two. Hand on the wrist, okay? The same side that's close to his neck. The other hand goes under his elbow. It's pretty easy for you to do this. Control with the thumbs over. Turn his hand out. So you increase the power of the leverage on the shoulder, okay? Of the lock. So you go here. And you just lift the elbow, okay? It's while he's sliding his hand back. So don't try to take his hand off the mat like this and try to submit like that. It's not gonna happen. So you go one, slide, two, and then you submit. Be careful when you're applying that. If you go really fast, it can definitely hurt your teammate or partner, okay? So I go one, two, three, and now finish. Okay, I go to the other side. Step one, two, three. Control, and finish. Okay, so just practice this over and over. Repeat the moves like always, like 6 to 10 times each side. Okay, and then after that, we go to the next step. Okay, very, very simple, right? So first, now you're understanding how the shoulder lock works. We call Americana. You can also have your partner doing that on you so you can feel and understand the pain and the lock. Okay, so you understand. So as you feel the lock, the shoulder lock, you tap. Okay, very important. there are different ways for me to do the armbar, okay? First, a very simple armbar. Probably the first armbar that we teach to our students, okay? If you've never done armbar, you learn here a very simple way for you to do the armbar, okay? A very simple way to understand the armbar. First, like I'll be mounted and he's gonna be pushing my chest. Once he's pushing my chest, I go with one hand under his arm, the other hand over his chest, okay? And while he's pushing, I put in the pressure like back towards his hand, so he keep pushing me. So if I go like this, he can bring like the hand down again. So once he's pushing, you keep the weight on him. So you go with the left arm under, the right arm goes over. That means when the right arm goes over, the right leg will pass over his head as well. Okay, my goal is to go like this. Look, I go like this. I go really fast. All right, so then I got the arm bar. Okay, I did really fast, so I got the arm bar here. Once I got here, okay, I'll explain to you how to do like slowly. Okay, but first let me teach you how to understand the arm bar. Once you get here, you're gonna grab his wrist. You're gonna keep his elbow inside. You see, you're gonna have your butt really close to his shoulder. Right, this is really, really important. And you pinch the knees together. When you pinch the knees together, you tighten up the muscle and you make the ligaments go like a little bit more tense. You put a little bit of tense in his ligaments, okay? So you make the ligaments really tense right here and stretch it straight. So now you can pull the arm and use the pinky towards your chest, okay? And you squeeze really hard. So the pinky is close to your chest, you close your elbows here, pinch your knees together, head on the floor, and now you can breathe. If you keep the head off the mat, you can, right? But it's a little bit harder for you to breathe, so you can put the head on the floor so you can breathe, all right? Or you can keep the head here, no problem, right? But I like to like put my head on the floor so I increase the leverage, right? My goal is to do this, all right? But notice that I have the triceps and biceps in between my legs. My legs are pretty much trapping almost his shoulder. Okay, once I trap his shoulder, now I have the elbow inside. That means I have a good leverage here. So if I fall with my butt, turn around just a little bit. If I fall with my butt far from his shoulders, okay, and I aim just to control the elbow here, I don't have a good arm bar. He's not gonna feel any pain right here. He's gonna feel like really awkward. And that's what people don't understand at the beginning. Okay, it's not only having his arm between your legs, it's pretty much having the triceps and biceps between your legs. Okay, that's the most important thing. So you pinch the knees together, bring his pinky towards your chest, close your elbow, pinch your knees, and now you can lift your hips up, okay, controlling and have a good leverage and force your opponent to tap. All right, again, feet on the floor. You can keep your heels on the floor with your foot like this or like that, okay? This is more common, okay? So you keep your feet like this, pinch your knees, and then you bring the hand close to your pinky. Bring the pinky, close to your chest, okay? Close your elbows, and then you force him to tap, okay? So again, I'm here, he's pushing my chest. I go step one, step two. Now, just so we can learn, is lifting my left leg first because my left side is under his arm. My left arm is under his arm, so I will lift this leg here first. Turn 90 degrees from him like this, okay, facing this way. Have a little bit my foot like open like this. I can keep my foot like this, but I like to bring my knee down like this. When I bring the outside of my knee touching his belly, it's a little bit harder for him to bring the knees, the shin inside and build a frame and escape, okay? So once I'm here, I go like this, so it's harder for him to bring the knees inside. So now I lean forward, I put the weight on my hand and on this foot right here. So my right leg will be light to pass over, and then I'll sit right away, pinch my knees, bring the pinky towards my chest, close my elbows here to my body, and then bridge. I can go like this too, with the head on the floor or here, okay? It's very important to keep the knees super tight and pinched right here. You can cross your feet. Yes, you can cross your feet like this, okay, if you're comfortable about that, no problem. But I feel like when you cross your feet, it's a little bit harder for you to pinch the knees. It's not wrong, okay? But just to understand better, so you keep your feet on the floor here and pinch your knees together. Notice that if I open my legs like this and bring his arm here, look, it doesn't work much, the pressure here on the arm bar if I keep my knees wide open like this. Look what is gonna happen if I pinch my knees. I'll pinch my knees super tight, okay? Now look, now he tapped really fast. So it's very important to squeeze when you are attacking, okay? Every time you're attacking neck, leg, foot locks, okay? Heel hooks, knee bars, arm bars, shoulder locks, you gotta squeeze, okay? You gotta squeeze always. One more time, I'm here, you push. I go step 1, step 2, lift my left leg, turn, pass the right leg over, sit down, squeeze, okay? Pinch my knees together, bring it, speak it towards my chest, and then finish, okay? Around. So notice that I'm here, he pushed. Now I go faster, look. I go 1, and then I do all together. 2, 3, slide. And then look, you see that I slide on his triceps with my groin. And then if I need to, if I feel like I land a little bit off and his shoulder is not touching my butt or my butt is not touching his shoulder right there, right? I will bring him, I can pull him to adjust, okay, with this grip. Now I close and then I start like applying the arm bar. I can have my thumbs like this. You can have like that too, but I have like this, it's better. So then I finish him. So if you need to pull the arm to one side, this side is great. So you pull to this side right here. Usually when the person is really flexible, here is not enough for you to finish. So you need to turn a little bit, open your elbow, close your elbow here, and then start like pinching your knee against each other. And then pull, okay, his arm down towards the empty spot and no longer towards your chest, okay? Doing that, you build this leverage here, okay? Notice that his elbows start like popping out like this, okay? It's really dangerous, be careful, okay? And the arm bar, he's gonna feel the ligaments right here, okay? Right behind his elbow, that's where it's gonna hurt. Also, it can break his arm as well, like right on this spot of his arm, like between the elbows here, okay? So be careful, right? Once you're here, you gotta understand like how the leverage works, okay? Very, very important to know that. Pinch your knees, okay? You can go this way as well, but this way is a little bit harder for you to do, but it's not wrong, you can do that. This way here is better for you, okay? It's gonna be way better, all right? Other thing you can do is to pass your armpit over his hand, like this, sitting up a little bit. Now you lock your elbow, and then you pinch your knee here. Okay, this is very, very strong. Around. So after I'm here, okay, in every single arm bar that I'm doing, I can do that. I can pull his arm a little bit to the outside and then pass my arm over. Now I bring my hand close to my thigh, close my elbow here, and then I start like going down, okay? Like this, all right? So again, I'm here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, arm bar. See that I hug his arm here. Once I bring his hand towards my chest, pinch my knees, control the wrist, okay? Close my elbow, then go here, or towards the side, or I pass my armpit over, and then I finish right here, okay? Keep my feet on the floor. The reason that I pass the leg over his head is to not let my opponent sit up. Try to sit up, Jones. You see, if I keep my leg open, he'll sit up and come up and skate, all right? That's why when you do the arm bar, and one common mistake when I'm teaching arm bar to beginners, when they go for the arm bar, they try to fall first, like this. They touch the hips on the floor, and they try to pass the leg afterwards over the head. This is wrong, don't do that. If you do that, you'll be late, it's gonna come up, look. I go 1, 2, and then I go like this, it's gonna come up, and then you escape from the arm bar, okay? So make sure when you hear, you push, I go 1, 2, 3, okay? Pass the leg, and then while you pass the leg over, you go down. You don't wanna also do this. 1, 2, and then you stand up on your foot like this and be so far from him, okay? Notice that my butt is always in touch with him, okay? On him. So I'm here, I go 1, 2, and now look, my butt is really close to his chest, okay, right here. Then I pass the leg over, and I get a nice arm bar. So I try to stay as low as I can. If I touch it, my butt on his chest, great, all right? If I have just like half an inch off, it's okay. But I must be like low, okay? I must be really close and make sure that I control this part of his arm. And you understand, like every time you attack him, arm bars or triangles or knee bars or kimuras, you must, every single attack, you must still control somehow the part of the body that is attached, the part of the arm is attached to his body, which is this upper part here of his limb. Okay, on the legs is the thigh, right? So you gotta understand that. So you're gonna go here, step 1, step 2, step 3. Now you fall, control, and then finish. So you repeat this 6, 10 times. Make sure you don't do this. Fall and then try to pass over, okay? Now I'll do fast. Start passing 2, do like this. 1, you're doing 2 steps. 1, and now 2. Look. You see, the second, you do 2 steps. You mix it up. The second, the third, and the fourth step. So look, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Right? So you go with everything. So you here, you go 1, and now look, I will turn that way, swing the leg over while I'm lifting this leg like this, really fast. Okay, in the fight it's gonna be like that. And on the fight, you have 1 fraction of a second, right? It's a very short time that you have opportunity, short opportunity that you have in order to attack your opponent. He's not gonna be pushing you here all the time, okay? So I'm here mounting him, he push, and then I go, like right away, right? Then I get the armbar, right? So you gotta practice until you become a master on the technique. Each technique you practice, you gotta repeat until you feel comfortable. All right, right now we're gonna put both techniques together. So I'm gonna bring the hand towards the floor, like attacking the Americana. We already learned the Americana, so you push here. And every time you do that, your opponent will try to go with the other hand and try to grab like this. Okay, he can go either inside or outside, okay? But most of the time he goes inside. For example, I'm here, cross your hands. So like this, I go here. And now he's turning like this, okay? When he turns like this, when he turns sideways, it's gonna be harder for me to apply the Americana, okay? But I can use that to make a transition to armbar. Turn around. So I will lift my right leg, in this case it's facing towards my right, so I'm gonna lift this leg here. And now, while I'm lifting my leg, I will underhook his arm and turn. Now I lean forward, keeping my heel really close to his belly, just like we learned on the control of the technique, right, from mount. Don't keep your foot open like this so you can recover the guard, right? So you gotta be here. You underhook, keeping the hand that's on his wrist, stapling his hand on the floor. Put your weight on the hand and on the foot. So your leg that will pass over his head will be light. So I go like this. And once I pass over, I sit down, and now I can let go of the wrist and I start stretching his arm. I like to go here, stretch his arm, okay? I make a hook like this. Once I stretch his arm, I control the wrist. Pinch my knee, okay? If my leg, goes right under his arm right here, no problem. I don't need to fix. It's actually better if you have the leg right here, okay, under his arm, because right now it's hard for Jonathan to take the leg off his head, okay? So if I keep here, it's easier for you to push the leg and start like coming up to escape, right? So if you keep here, there's no problem. As long as you pinch your knees together. Notice that he can touch my hand, he can touch his hand on my chest, okay? If I keep my knees open. But if I pinch my knees, notice that his arm like lift up. This is the limit of his arm. So it's easy for me to just pull down. Look, and then there's a lot of leverage here. He already wants to tap, and now I start bridge, okay? Everything's super tight. Or you bring the arm to the side, or you pass the armpit over his wrist, and then start putting the elbow towards the mat, and then bridge, okay? Be careful so you don't hurt your teammate. Of course, in the fight, if you go really fast like this, you can jam his joint right here. You can break his joint right here, so be careful. So you go really slow, okay? And then your opponent will tap, okay? A heel tap, of course, like in a tournament situation or a training session, but on the street, he's not gonna tap, right? And then you can go beyond that if you need, right? So I go 1, he turn, okay? And usually you can train like this. As you're doing that, you can start lifting your leg right away. Look. 1, 2, because jiu-jitsu is all about feeling. So once you start feeling that he's controlling the hand really hard, okay, you just lift this leg here, turn around, just like that. So I go 1, 2, see, underhook. Make sure when you underhook, don't go like this. Okay, another thing that's really wrong here that I see white belts doing when they learn armbar, they grab the arm like this, they try to pass the leg like that, okay? And they try to like grab the wrist to bring like this. So don't do that because there is not much strength on this, okay? You gotta use your hand to pull the arm. In this case right here that I'm showing you, you use the entire arm inside. So you use your body to pull his arm. Look, I keep his triceps on my chest, grab my hand here, and then I start like keeping his triceps close to my chest, and then I start laying down. So now I'm using my entire lower back to bring his arm to me, okay? Right here. And now I can start, once I feel like I can grab his wrist, I grab the wrist, control, pinch my elbows here, make sure he's pinking down. One thing really important in the armbar too, don't let his thumb go down like this. If that happens, the armbar is not gonna be strong, okay? So look, Jonathan can resist here. He can also resist here. But once you have his pinky towards the chest, okay, and thumb up, and you drive his hand towards your chest here, bring his hand towards your chest, pinch the knees together, okay? At the same time in bridge, he's gonna feel the joint, okay? Like this, you can do that the same way, but he can resist more. So make sure you adjust. Some people teach you like how to do it, but grabbing like this, I don't like this. Okay, you can do that just to make sure the thumb's up. But I like to control the wrist. I feel like it's better for me to have a control like this. Once you control, don't let him turn his hand. Keep his hand like frozen here, stopped, and then stay still, and then you lift your hips up and force him to tap. Okay, one more time slow. I go step 1, step 2, underhook, step 3. Okay, once I'm here, if you just keep the hands together like this, I can break the grip, like I can kick his biceps. I can kick 2 ways, using my heel inside like this and kick to break the grip, or I can step my foot inside and I use the shin. I put this part of my foot connected with his biceps right there. Don't go like this, because here you don't have too much strength. So you go here, and then you kick and pull at the same time, breaking the grip. Now you change your grip, pinch your knee, okay? Pinch your knees together, and then you force it to tap, okay? One time faster right now. Okay, so you repeat this also 6 to 10 times each side. So you go 1, 2, okay? And then finish the armbar. All right, again, other side. 1, 2, finish. Oh, professor, which arm I should like trap? I should trap his arm here. The arm that you feel more comfortable. This is good, okay? But if you go like this too, there's no problem, as long as you go really fast, okay? So you go here, pass, and then pinch the knees. Okay, the most important thing on the position is the transition to armbar as fast as you can. And once you trap the arm, then you can change the grips. Okay, so you go 1, lift, 2. You see when I lift my leg, I already turn 90 degrees from him. So my chest is this way. So when I lift this leg, my chest is this way, like same line of his arm. So now it's easier for me to pass the leg over, pinch my knees. If you grab the hands together, I can go with my foot inside and kick. Or I can go here, push, and then you can shake his arm like this too. If he's really strong, stay strong, Jones. I can like shake him like this, move, change directions, and that way it will make him weaker. And then you get the arm bar. Instead of just insisting going one way, and let's say he's really strong, stronger than you, you go like shake, okay? And then pinch your knees and finish him, right? So doing that to make your opponent weaker. It's a very strong arm bar. It's a great transition. First practice Americana, second practice armbar, and then you put all together. And then you go from there, okay? All right, we'll be learning the triangle right now, a transition triangle. Why? Because every time you're applying the armbar, you have the opportunity to set up the triangle as well on your opponent, okay? So, especially when I'm here, okay? When I'm here, getting the armbar here, right? I can control with this hand or with this one here. If I control with this arm right here, it's gonna be better for me to control his legs, to push his leg, to avoid him to come with the leg over my head, go with the leg over my head like this. I can clean out right away. If I grab with this side, he can bring the legs over like this. And it's a little bit harder for me to fight with his legs, okay? So think about that, okay? So you can go here or here, but on this side, you're gonna be in a better position. Okay, sometimes I trap his foot, sometimes I push his legs, I push his hips, okay? I underhook his leg right here so it doesn't come up, okay? And what I don't want to let my opponent do when I get the armbar is to make him sit up and scissor his leg and coming up. Go, Jones. So I'm here, now just come up. Like, just keep your hands up. Then turn, he turns, and now I start squeezing me, like start squeeze, and then start like escaping from the armbar, okay? And we'll be learning like escapes as well. Also in the other series from BJJ Fanatics, okay? All about escapes, like fundamental escapes. So I'll be here controlling him, right? Once I control him, I know he's gonna come up. And the only way for him to come up is scissoring his leg. Let me turn around. So you see that when he comes, like he needs to bring this leg under and then bring this leg over and then start coming up like this. Go back. So I don't let that happen. I underhook this leg. Try to come up, Jones. Like this. I underhook this leg here. And I keep my hand on my thigh here. Okay, I have a good control. Without the gi, we don't have the collar. We don't have the cloth to control. They have the collar here, so I can post my hand on my own thigh like this and grab here. Okay, as long as I have my hips really close to his arm here and shoulder. All right, so I'm here. So Jones will try to sit up. I keep controlling him like this. I can put my lower back on the floor here as well. All right, like this, and control him. All right, once he gets tired, then I start like kicking the arm and then start breaking the grip and get the armbar, okay? That's a great way for me to control after I get the armbar because it's not all the situations that I'll get the armbar and right away I'll stretch his arm. So I will land a lot right here, which is like the halfway to the armbar. So actually, it's like you got already 75% of chance of submitting your opponent once you get here, okay? So once you're here, you gotta know how to control and understand what he's gonna do in order to escape, all right? Number one, you try to take the leg off the head to come up, okay? That can happen. Come up like this, all right? Go back. Number two, you try to scissor his legs and come up like this, okay? And number three, okay, you try to put his elbow really fast towards the mat, like this. And once his elbow touches the mat, I don't have an armbar anymore, okay? So I must be really smart here and stretch your legs, Jones, and control him, okay? So I cannot be like this, okay? Also, when I'm grabbing him, I have my elbow under his elbow, have a nice and good control. I put my hand right here, okay? I like this, and notice that I put my entire lower back on the floor when he come up. I keep like this. Once he tries to come up, my lower back touches the floor. If I keep my chest super close to his elbow here all the time, when he come up, Jones, you see that I'll be like a ball. They come up, Jones, come up. I cannot I'm folded, right? I cannot control him. Go back. So I must stretch my body a little bit. See, when he come up, look, my lower back will touch the mat, so I have time, right? But of course, I'm doing that without controlling his legs. If I can grab his leg here, that'll be awesome. That'll be great, right? Once he gets tired, then I start kicking his arm and get the arm bar, right? So if I'm here, right, I can also turn hundreds. I can also, when I'm here, this is very important to understand. instead of kicking his arm, okay, I can grab his hand here, all the fingers, 4 fingers, and start like torquing, kind of like a wrist lock, okay? So if he's grabbing here, especially when he's grabbing like this, okay, I go here, right? And then I start getting the arm bar, okay? So I can go 1, I can go with my wrist under and get the arm bar like this, okay? Also, you can close like a rear naked choke like this. All right, I can lock my legs here if I want, all right? You can keep the leg that's over the belly on top, okay? So the other leg is heavy, you pinch the knees here. What I like to do here is simple. 2 things I do. 1 is to push him, push his elbow with the right hand. In this case, the hand that's close to his leg. I'll push and snap. Once I break the grip, I grab and then I get the arm bar. So in the fight, you look like this. 1 and then 2. Okay, so I'm showing you like different ways for you to break the grip from the arm bar after you get the arm bar. Okay, the first one is simple. He's here, he's stopped, he's not moving. I use my foot and kick his biceps, or put my foot inside and kick. Okay, the second one, he'll control the biceps like this, and now I'll push and break the grip. Okay, now I get the arm bar. Okay, also he's gonna grab like this, and then I can go his hand, right, and pull his hand towards me, so make him like a little weaker. Okay, I can put my arm too, like really close, like this part of my arm, really close to his elbow, to his wrist. Sorry, to his wrist. It was close to the elbow. Here probably you can resist more, but then if I go under here, he can resist less. Okay, it's kind of like when you put a weight here, you can carry a lot of weight. But if you put the weights here and you start like having the weights going down, it's really hard for you to bring it back. So once you're doing that, you're gonna put your elbow under his wrist, and then you go to the arm bar. Okay, so you're here, grab joints, control. So I go like this, adjust, and now adjust, and now I start stretching to break the grip. Okay, so you have all these options here before you get the arm bar. Okay. As you get the arm bar, okay? So again, so I'm here, I set up the arm bar. So I go 1, 2, 3, I got the arm bar, he's controlling. He's gonna try to come up, John. I change my hand, I underhook his leg. Control him, right? And then suddenly I can go to the arm here to break his grip. As long as I control the situation. If he's still trying to come up, John. He's trying to come up, don't try to go here, because then you're gonna let go of the grip. Turn around. You're gonna let go of his leg. So he's coming up, go John's coming up. And I go here, he's gonna scissor the legs, and then he starts smashing. Okay, even though he's still in the arm bar, you still can tap him. But now he's on top, it's easier for him to escape. So we're gonna try to keep our opponents as long as they can on bottom. So he starts coming up, go John's right here. Put my lower back on the floor and just chill, just rest. Use my hand here on the thigh. Okay, and now I can have all the ways to break the grip. So I go 1, okay, break the grip. Okay, I go 2, break the grip. And I can go 3, kick and break the grip, okay? Doing that, I'll control, I'll have a great arm bar. First I control, and then I go breaking the grip, getting the arm bar. There are different things you can do, we're gonna be learning, okay? I'm going from the very basic all the way to fundamentals, not like super advanced, but fundamentals, things that I believe that all the white belts, blue belts, and purple belts should know. Okay. So now Jonathan is here. If I find a space to put my foot inside, that'll be great, because when you start coming up, I just take the leg out. Okay, and then I'll make a trap. I lock the arm bar. So when you come up, Jonathan. Right here, I take that leg out, and now look. This leg was on top of his head, right? I take out, lock, figure 4 my leg, okay? Just like that. Once I figure 4, he come up, Jones. I pinch my knees together, bring my knees to my chest, okay? And then finish him. Okay, I pull his head down here. Or I can grab like the knee and squeeze and just hold, okay? I need to have a proper angle. And this transition here make a really strong angle for the triangle, okay? So of course, like you're gonna end up on bottom, but this is a super powerful submission in Jiu-Jitsu. It's a very common to see when you're watching fights, okay? Especially MMA or jiu-jitsu as a sport, you see that this submission a lot. So once you get the figure 4 right here, it's super powerful. It's gonna be my legs against his neck and arm. Okay, that's it. So especially his neck, so he's gonna feel like a choke. And from here I can make transitions to like arm bars, wrist locks, and things like that. But for now, we're gonna just focus on the triangle. Okay, if you stand up, Jones. He stand up, you grab his head, pull, and bridge. Okay, and then force him to tap. All right. So when you grab the head, just pull really hard, pinch your knees together, and bridge. So it's gonna look like this. So you go here, look, figure 4, squeeze, pull, and bridge. Okay. Always with his arm crossing. Okay. I'll show again. So his arm is gonna be crossing your body. So once you hear, he's gonna try to move up, he's gonna try to escape. I'm controlling him, right? Now I step my foot inside. Once I step my foot inside, I can make a trap. I open for him. Now look, the back of my knee here goes right close to his neck. Bring my heel down, okay? Working on my hamstring right here, right? A lot of strength on my hamstring here, pointing my heel down. Now I figure 4. Once I figure 4, I grab the head, make sure his arm is crossed. So if his arm's on this side and you have the figure 4 already, the triangle is still working, okay? He's gonna tap still. Turn around, Jones. What is gonna make him tap is this leg here that's under his neck, okay? So this leg here, so you turn and then pull. So that way you will tap, right? And when I pull the head, I pull always towards my thigh, my hamstring here, okay? I pull his neck towards my thigh. Never pull down, because if I pull down, there's a space here, you see? He can still breathe, right? So my goal here is to make him stop breathing. If his arm's on this side and I don't have the triangle lock, I can't lock the triangle, I need to like bridge, take his arm to the side, grab the shin, escape my hips a little bit, because it's all about the angle, lock my leg, figure 4, now I finish him, okay? But I believe every time you come up, okay, and I know that it's gonna be really simple for you to just figure 4 the leg, and you're gonna be in a perfect angle right there. So once I'm here, try to come up, I control Jonathan's, I put my foot inside. Once I pass my foot inside, I take my leg out, okay, off his head, and then he's gonna come up. Okay, now I lock. Once you lock, once I lock, finish, okay? It's very powerful. Turn around. Now from this angle here, so I'm here, control Jonathan's, hold him, hand right here, okay? Control his thigh here so he doesn't come up. Now I put my leg inside. When he start coming up, Jones, I'll go take the leg out and then lock the triangle. Once I get a good angle here, now it's easier for me to lock. Turn face to the camera. So right here, I put my chest, my belly, right close to his triceps, and now I'll finish him, okay? If his arm goes on this side right here and I see the triangle locked, still working. Okay, no problem, all right? Control, he's trying to come up. Control him, okay? Step my foot inside, 1. You see that I relaxed a little bit, I was here, because it's hard for me to keep this in here. I need to bring my knee a little bit towards my arm to pass the leg inside, okay? Just in a half second, okay? Very, very fast. So I go 1, take the leg out, 2, okay? Go back, Jonas. I can wait for him to come up, or I can force him to come up. Look, I'm here, I go step 1, take the leg out, now I pass my leg under, now I force him to come up. Okay, and then I start locking here. Once I lock the figure 4, now I pull his head towards my my hamstring. Okay, force him to tap. Here, I can still get a nice armbar as well. If it's like halfway like this. Even if you come up, Jones. You come up all the way, stand up, Jones. I can make this, so I can get an armbar while I have the triangle locked if I have a great angle right there. But one thing that I don't like, okay, and you can do that, right? It works, right? But I feel that if I need to change a triangle to an armbar, if I need to trade, right? Because I can start trading the submissions here, right? I'm in the armbar, I can stretch his arm. I put my leg inside. I bring him. He come over. So I take the leg off. So I get the triangle here. I can also go back to the armbar here with the triangle locked, okay? And I can finish him, right? But a lot of times when I do this, because his head is free, he's gonna start stacking me. Like he start like putting the weight on me and then start like hugging my head like this and then taking the elbow out and now he escaped, okay? So if you do that, you gotta go fast and you gotta stiffen your body. Don't let him fold you, all right? So once you're here, so I'm here on the armbar, I pass the leg, you come up, I take the leg out, I lock, and then if I need to change to the armbar here, I need to put my head on the floor, stiffen my lower back, like this, try to stack jump. I keep like everything tight, just my shoulders on the mat. If I do this, bringing my knees to my chest, it's gonna stack and pass, especially if you're heavier than me. Okay, so I keep here. So now I have a good leverage to finish it. Okay, and I can pass this leg over my leg like this, all right? And then worst case scenario, if the armbar is not working, I can go back to the triangle again. Then I can use the hand on my foot to adjust the triangle or inside my leg here, grabbing the shin to adjust the triangle. This is not a triangle. Don't lock like this. You must bring the leg, the foot, right behind your knee, okay? This is very, very important. You gotta adjust like this first and figure four like this. Sometimes your opponent will tap, poor Jones. Sometimes people will tap, your opponent will tap just like the time that you're squeezing, you're already tapping, right? But if you're not, you gotta pull and then pinch the knees and squeeze, okay, and bridge, all right? So just practice this transition over and over, okay? And make sure you repeat like 6 to 10 times, okay? I'll do it again so you can set up the armbar from mount here. Both arm bars you learn, okay? So we learn like a very, very traditional armbar, and also we learn the armbar making the transition from Americana, okay? But first you're gonna do like this. 1, 2, 3. I got here, so he's blocking, right? I underhook his leg. He's not gonna be able to come up. Once he stops, I put my leg inside, let him come up. When he come up, I lock. Once I lock, I go here, okay? Or I can go back to the armbar. So I stiffen and keep just my shoulders on the mat, you see? Lift my lower back. Now it's easier for me to get a nice armbar, okay? If I need to go back to the triangle, I go back to the triangle, all right?